How big is God to you? I truly believe that the bigger your God is, the more you will be in obedience, the more you will be in discipline. Your life will change. If your perspective of God is small, then your faith is going to be weak. But if your perspective on God is super big, bigger than you can possibly imagine, that will change the way you think, and that will change the way you act, and that will change the way you love. While I've been in training, it's such a big change, being absorbed into the corporate culture and realizing how big this company is and the standards that they continue to enforce, whether it's good work ethic, great performance, but even the little things. How are you dressed? Are you dressed professionally? Are you showing up to work on time? Companies enforce rules because that's the best way to keep the processes running efficiently. How should God work? Imagine if God ran the world, the universe, like a company. Imagine if every time you messed up, you committed a sin, there's a discipline, there's a penalty, whether it's, taxes or physical labor. But imagine, or just completely being cut off. Okay? This is the way God was in the Old Testament. It's amazing to read the Old Testament and see how real and how direct God was. I mean, if you were in disobedience, He let you know. The fact that God is giving us so much grace, what are we doing with that? Are we taking advantage of that grace? The fact that He doesn't discipline us in a direct way, do we take advantage of that? The thing that I fear most is the silence of God. When I pray and I feel like He's not listening. When I pray and I feel like He's not answering. It's over 100 degrees, and even during at nighttime, it's 98 degrees. And yet every day we still have to wear a suit. We have to be dressed appropriately. I mean, there's so many disciplines when it comes to working for a big company. And yet, we don't have the same attitude when we approach God, when we walk into church. What do we do to prepare for the day to meet with God? What do we do to go to church? What type of preparations are we doing? What type of routines do we have in our spiritual walks? This week I learned about the concept of 212. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but 212 is actually the number 212 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the boiling temperature. And this concept was taught to us during training, mainly to emphasize how 1 degree can make all the difference between boiling water and just hot water. And so in a second I want to show you the video that we saw in class, and then I'll tell you my thoughts on it. So here we go. how often do we feel like we're stuck in our faith? We feel like God isn't near us, or you're praying, or everybody's in different places in their walk. But how often do we feel that plateaued feeling? We all face that. But again, I truly believe that at our toughest moments, we are that much closer to breakthrough. Again, just like that 1 degree makes all that difference. I learned that we cannot quit.